and mimic all those diseases and effects. But the conversations, the scripts they're called, are always the same. I've heard them all. They're slightly tailored for each individual, but they're scripts. And they're meant to confuse the very derogatory. That's just typical breakdown. If you've ever been to boot camp, you're a worm until you're part of the team. And why would you want to break down the ego of that person? To rebuild it. So this gets into creating Manchurian candidates, split personality spies, and information couriers, people that will carry messages to other places without being aware that they're actually doing it. So you can imagine the misperception that is caused by this. And a lot of people, the targets when they're interviewed are tricked into believing evil aliens have abducted their brains, demons.
They're tricked.
Yes.
How are they tricked? Pardon this brief interruption, but I want to take a minute to talk about this incredible
Some of them are pretty crazy. They have names like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, or hypnosis, that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this. And I've heard all the stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this. And so anyway, my interview with Len, he very well described a typical breakdown script that's used on almost all the TI victims. TI stands for targeted individuals. Some of them are pretty crazy. They have names like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and those are the confusion tactics. And when they're breaking down the ego of the human through all the pains and tortures and the verbal breakdown, these are typical CIA torture scripts. I mean, Kubark manual. And they do good cop, bad cop interrogation called Jeff and Mutt. And they go right through the list, right? Just textbook. So whoever the handlers are on the other side of this synthetic telepathy, they're following the handbook perfectly, and they've been trained.
But why Len?
And everyone asks that.
Okay, yeah.
Can I talk? Here's how I do my studies, and I wanted to find that.
Okay, yeah.
Can I talk? Here's how I do my studies, and I wanted to find the commonalities, but I have to throw away the ones I'm uncertain about that are true targets. Maybe there's natural schizophrenia, there's a whole bunch of chemical imbalances, et cetera.
Right.
These weapons can actually induce and mimic all those diseases and effects. But the conversations, the scripts they're called, are always the same. I've heard them all. They're slightly tailored for each individual, but they're scripts. And they're meant to confuse the very derogatory. That's just typical breakdown. If you've ever been to boot camp.
Your pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. I also often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes. It also includes videos of violence and grotesque figures, and sometimes numbers and other symbols used to threaten torture. This forces me to open my eyes, even when I'm so sleep deprived. I experience frequent, severe forced movements of my eyeballs side to side, up and down, and bulging in and out. The forced eyeball movements are very often extreme, and I experience it often for many hours at a time, particularly through the night, nearly every night. This is often combined with other forms of torture. They also inflict forced biting, where they make me bite my hands and arms forcefully, leaving severe bite marks and bruises. When I say severe, I really mean extreme. I experienced an entire night with forced spontaneous orgasms repeatedly all through the night, one right after another, with maybe around 1 hour of sleep or so, as I lay immobilized in my bed in complete fear. This experience, along with the brain being microwaved and along with some internet research, is what made me put the puzzle pieces together to realize that I was experiencing remote external manipulation via electronic weapons, because these symptoms of sexual assault were not physiologically normal or possible without external manipulation. It is not physiologically normal to just have repeated spontaneous orgasms all through the night like that, literally one right after another. And then it all made sense when I learned about microwave weapons. In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind.
Similarly, women can be wirelessly raped by the analogous function of perception. 11. Dietary manipulation.
The same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
And I am a victim of organized stalking, electronic harassment, microwave torture, V2K abuse, and I'm asking you to help us end this crime against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted individuals. We are victims of cyber torture. And I will not give up. I will fight to the end.
You hang in there.
Hello, I'm making this video to honor the 3rd Annual Targeted Individual Day. That's August 29th, 2020. My name is Linda Marie Sharp in Mendocino County, California, United States. I am a targeted person and have been for over 12 years. I am electronically tortured by directed energy weapons.
Hi, my name is Lisa Davis and I'm in Duluth, Minnesota. I'm here today hoping to help bring awareness to Japan.
My name is Carl.
In the morning, I can barely even walk. I hope this can be safe.
My name is Ella, and I am a targeted individual.
Hi, I'm Kate Ryan. I'm a TI in Massachusetts, and I'm
speaking to you on International Targeted Individual Day. I live in the U.S., in Illinois, and am a victim of organized
we need
stalking,
this to stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment, microwave torture.
I've been targeted for 9 years.
Chicago, I'm a targeted individual for 6
My name is Amanda Mittler.
Ending this crime.
Hello, my name is Wendy Brown. I'm a targeted individual who is living in New Zealand, but my targeting began in California. I'm an American citizen, and the targeting continues in New Zealand. I'm making this video in remembrance of Targeted Individual Day, our 3rd annual Targeted Individual Day. And I'm asking that every
毎日四六時中監視虐待をされ続けている生活を送っています。
Why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. Come get me.
Repetition is an important neuro-linguistic programming interrogation tactic to influence the target mind. During the breakdown process, threats to kill and to torture the target's family or friends are common. Repetitious questioning and breakdown phrases are automated in both the physical and no-touch versions of torture. An interesting technology that is used for no-touch torture is called chatterbots. Chatterbots, an artificial intelligence program, automate much of the repetition so that the interrogators don't drive themselves crazy during the neuro-linguistic torture and programming phases. Let us not forget the Chinese water torture, a single drop of water.
So, you heard a minute ago things you've heard many times. The way they have descriptive tactics to try to counter reality. You understand, they do these nasty things. That's why I make videos. Because they are trying to they are psyoping to create a facade of what they are, when in reality they're this trash that torture women and children. But this is part of this human experimentation that we're in. You know there's a bunch of women being tortured in these foul ways. And you know the people that participate in this are, they all kind of psyops. Right? I'm just listening to this trash. My neighbors, they say, we're going to kick you out, we're going to say this and that. I'm like, whatever, you know. And they try to dehumanize me by saying, I kicked it out. This is a bottom feeder that works in the program, that's what you just heard. They try to come up with stories. And every time when they try to make you accept this version of reality, they go into the scripted things that you heard this person say. There's a story. I remember when I was in college, me and somebody else, we typical at a club, met somebody, and having some sexual contact, sexual interaction with this woman. And while we were having sex, as she was climaxing, as she was climaxing, she's kind of you can see she's trying to push and bring me back in, and it's just a confusion, she pushed and bring me back in, and just because she was having an orgasm. And at the end she can even say she said something about I needed that, basically made her feel good. Now these people create a new version. They erase that portion and create a new version. Reality is what they create. And so, obviously, I know this is the people that you heard the testimony of what they do to women. This is reality. That's what they're part of. With me, they have this psyop of, well, we're this progressive woman. You're gonna die for this. You're gonna burn for this. After creating a new version of reality. Well, the reality is this is what they do to women all around the world. This rape is part of the tactics. It's like a protocol tactic. And they're here trying to play this psyop that I know it's a psyop. I'm in the program where they do horrible things to a lot of subjects. The subjects are women, children, and men. And it's all systematic. I'm telling you, that person was so, I'm sorry for being graphic. it was to the point that person was super sexually driven that I and others were not able to fulfill her sexual hunger. She had more sexual drive than me. That I couldn't even, I didn't have that level of sexual drive. That even, I didn't even, she even wanted more satisfaction that I could provide. You understand? And these people that do these things come up with their fantasy. You hear these bottom feeders that they use here. It's like, I'll kick it out. You trash ass bottom feeders. And they have these psyops of this wannabe like these fraudulent people that try to play these woke people. That try to make it seem like they're doing this like, oh, for these people. Oh my gosh, get a delusional trash. They live out of reality. And they think reality, the way they create it, is going to stick like that. No. I understand their job is to do this. They're trying to paint a reality that they themselves created. And that reality that they create, and which they call our reality, is what the subject is supposed to subscribe to. But the reality is falsifications. It's meant to break you down. This is what the last video I was talking about how this baby, the kids are chubby. They're trying to make me imagine her in this disgusting ways, and now they're trying to come up with this version of what happened instead of a reality of this. Let's just say this person's sexual drive was surpassing mine and others. But reality is what they paint, because this is what you just listened. They are involved in this program that does this. We are human subjects to this kind of tormenting, and these bottom feeders that are contracted by these entities. I see them as that. And I know they can say whatever terminology they want to say. But with me, even though I see them for just the bottom feeders, the mistake they're going to make is that this reality they've put together, they're going to really think that I'm going to let them live that fantasy. Remotely do that. But if you see me in person and you try to create this reality and think I'm going to let you escape in this reality after I know that you're involved in this, please understand I'm not going to let you do that. I'm talking to somebody. I've seen her be her ups and downs and being emotional because reality was too much for her, not because she cares for me. I will never let people that are involved in this program come up with ways to cope with what they're part of. Never. I'm not perfect. There's so many things I've done in my life that is like, stupid and whatever. But I'm glad I never involved myself in this nastiness where you have to come up to a different version of reality. These people are trying to find ways to vilify you when they do these things, and then even have to falsify reality, falsify memories. And you hear these childlike individuals that are supposed to agitate you using the tonality of childlike voices. Another scriptive tactic. I understand. In this situation, I am a dignified individual. And whatever's going to happen to me, there's still dignity in this. I'm okay with death if in this fashion. They have to create our reality, as they say, because this is what they're supposed to do. I'm a human subject. These people are perps, contracted by the government, losers and trash and frauds who have accepted to be participating in things that does these things to women. Some of them are actually children, so they're doomed in their own way already. Didn't have a chance. There's no coming back for what they do. But one of them said herself, it's like, in 10 years, that makes her still under 30 years old. You see that the stupidity of these people? Trash. Traumatized individuals, stay strong. These people are low life. They come up with their own fantasies. They come up with this reality, these false memories. They come up with this perception, disgustingness. At least what I just say is nothing in comparison to the last video. The last video was just disturbingness, but stay strong. Whatever manipulation of your perceptions, of your thoughts, and whatever, or even your memories, or how they want to create a version of memories while they're doing these things, do not subscribe to this. Stay strong.